I'm ready, man. I've actually found myself missing these guys, you know, just the rap styles and the way that I just loved watching them progress, you know, throughout the course of several years with the Cypher series. It was so cool watching the beginning, and then a year later, and then a year later, and then 2 years later, and then seeing them all do it live together. It was like watching the evolution of this talent amalgamation. You know, and I really love that. That's like, you know, I would never start a TV show in the middle. I'm not one of those people. I'm going to watch it from the beginning, and I'm going to watch it all the way through, because I want the whole story. With these guys right now, specifically with the Cypher series, like, it gave me a new level of appreciation for what they're capable of doing. If I was going to target one person that really started doing it for me throughout the Cypher series, Suga. Yoongi, that's how you say his name, right? Oh my god. This guy's got game. So, I don't have a bias and a bias wrecker anymore. Like, in BTS as a whole, I'm starting to just realize that they all just have their own place. Just taking one away would really deplete the talent level of the whole group. So, yes, J-Hope is still my #1. The wrecker spot is just open for the taking at this point. What I'm going to do this time is going to be a little different. I'm going to watch it, kind of focus more on the sound, and then I'm going to watch Ddaeng explained, and then after that I'm going to go back, I'm going to listen to the song a second time, and I'm going to be concentrating mostly on the lyrics, and I'm going to try to put it together. Play. Gotta turn this up. Our boy started off. Usually doesn't. The cadence in his voice, man. I'm gonna talk about it every time. I'm sorry if you guys get tired of it, but he plays with his vocal style so much. See? What was that? It was total change. It's like a different person. Just shows his ability to finesse. You know, I've noticed they're really good at using, there's a word for it. I'm not sure. I think it might be the word onomatopoeia. It like means, what I'm thinking of is the word that means sounds. They use sounds that aren't always words sometimes. And they're really good at it. This is the clearest his voice has ever sounded to me. You know, a lot of time he has some kind of like rasp or even like a little lisp. It just sounds really smooth and clear right now. It was kind of like more like an RM style on it that time. Like RM always sounds clean, you know? J-Hope's always got like, he's all over the place with his vocal stylings. Suga's usually like, to me, he's like the aggressive, like almost a scream sound. This right here, this is what I think of when I think of Suga. You hear it? He's got that a little vocal fry in there. Yo, this beat is fire, man. Listen to me, he's so quiet right now. He's just... That's how quiet he is. He's making me like, I don't... Percussion's gone here. It's cool, I haven't heard them do a lot of that. Okay, so thank God there's a explained, because I really didn't understand the majority of those lyrics. So I was under the impression that the word dang was like the sound of a buzzer going off, like, you know, in America the buzzer is like bzzz, but like apparently like the wrong buzzer in Korea is more like a dang. Like maybe there's a different meaning for the word dang outside of just that buzzer sound. So once again, my favorite part of BTS rap line song is the guy's ability to change their vocal style throughout the course of the song. Could not put into words J-Hope's rap style because I've never heard anybody do it like him. He just goes from over here to just like over here, and then he's sitting on the roof over there, and then he's underground. It just keeps it fresh, you know what I mean? Now Suga this time, as I said before, it was like the cleanest sound that I've ever heard come from him. And then RM came in and he did something that I haven't heard him do yet either. I know most of my audience doesn't watch WWE, but there was a guy back in the day, his name was Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm sure some of you have heard of him before. And what he did when he was delivering a promo, when he was talking his smack, unlike all the other guys that were just roided up, cocaine-filled, screaming promos, just those wounds were left open to become infectious. Jake the Snake would get real close to the microphone and he would just tell you exactly what he was going to do with you.
Accidents do happen now, don't they? Yeah, they do happen. And your mind cannot be clearly focused on me at this time, Savage, with all the turmoil in your family. You got to be a sick, sick puppy right now. Kind of makes you wonder, will Elizabeth be there? Or will she be somewhere else?
And you didn't have a choice but to listen to him, because he just captivated you. And that's what RM did in this song. He just kept it quiet, but he made you just want to sit there and feel it. Feel what he was saying. By the way, you guys like my new purple light? Play. You know, I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but this beat is actually
I know you wanted this,
the most Asian-sounding beat that I've heard them.
BTS, RM, J-Hope, and Suga dropped a hip-hop track recently on their SoundCloud called Ddaeng. It's a song that has an oriental and trap beat at the same time, and it's also a diss track sending messages to their haters. But the wordplay inside it is just amazing. For example, the title Ddaeng itself is used in multiple ways throughout the whole song.
This is what I was talking about, that I didn't really understand. Okay.
These are all card combinations that come from a Korean card game called Seotda or Hwatu.
팔대. 잠깐. 굿땡이요?
Simply think of them as the best combinations you can get during a game. For example, 3 and 8, which is called 38 광땡, is the ultimate pair that nothing can beat. Thus, the first meaning of Ddaeng here would be translated into something like better or invincible.
Okay, so that makes more sense now.
Again in the chorus, the word Ddaeng is already used in 2 more different meanings. For these 2 lines, Ddaeng is used as the meaning of wrong, which originates from the imitation of a xylophone sound used in quiz shows or auditions when the participant
This is the one that I knew about. Sounds very similar to the
line,
ding correct buzzer in America.
And it also comes from a children's song called 학교 종이 땡땡땡. Regarding J-Hope mentioning homework in the next verse, there's a very high possibility that this line implies the meaning of go to school, kids.
They're always getting those messages out there somehow, you know? They don't let any song slide by without getting some kind of positive message in there.
The criticism they received in the early ages about their hip-hop or rap style, or BTS being a flop. However, in the next lines, he explains that now they've become a worldwide bang from a Ddaeng.
Bang, like we exploded onto the worldwide scene, right? So like in the opposite of wrong.
It kind of gets trickier in Suga's verse. The usage of Ddaeng is suddenly changed without any notice. The first Ddaeng indicate the meaning of wrong or no. But when he says 누가 끝발이 좋던 간에, he suddenly jumps into the card game again. 끝발 is an everyday slang word for power/influence. When you see a very successful person, you would say something like 와 끝발 죽이네 or 끝발 날리네. This everyday slang word's origin comes from the card game 섰다 again. Good is a combination of cards equivalent to 1 point.
I wonder if they're a big fan. Do they really like this game?
It's the most common pairs you will receive during a game. In contrast, a Ddaeng is above all goods.
It's like Full House
so
in
that's
poker.
what Suga is saying in his last lines. 나는 땡 전혀 상관 안 해. Which means I'm a Ddaeng and I don't care about you lower class goods.
I don't give an F. I didn't hear him say that.
So one more thing before we go into RM's verse. Good has the same sound as good. Yeah. And this good means the end. Suga ends his verse by saying 계속 걱정해주길 good. It could be a double translation as continue worrying about us low pointers, losers, and continue worrying about us, the end. I'm out. Mic drop.
Dude, like these words have so many meanings. The Korean language is so much more interesting than the American language. Although I guess we do some of that stuff, like, you know, if you say something's cool, you could also say it's hot.
Part is the apex of this whole song. It's because in one single verse, he uses 7 different usages of
What?
Ddaeng.
That's
The
impossible.
first line, 캐셔 계산 소리 땡, is literally the sound of the cashier opening, which could also imply that he has a lot of money now. And the
Can we just appreciate how cool Mr. RM looks in those shades holding that money right there? That's lifestyle goals right there. That's visual goals right there.
first line, 캐셔 계산 소리 땡, is literally the sound of the cashier opening, which could also imply that he has a lot of money now. And the second line, 어릴 적 좋아함 얼음 땡, is a Korean version of tag.
Dude, freeze tag is
run away,
best
they
game
shout
ever.
얼음, which is freeze, to get immune from the catcher, and then another survivor can come along and tag the frozen person, saying 땡, which unleashes him from the frozen state. And third, 난 딩동, 넌 땡, means I'm correct and you're wrong.
Okay,
and
so that's the buzzer
넌
one again.
끝, 난 땡, is again referenced from the card game. You might be a 7-pointer, but I'm above that tier. Fifth, 라면 먹고 잔 얼굴 땡, comes from the expression 땡땡 부었다. It's a fun way to describe your face is swollen after you've eaten ramen last night.
Is that real? Does your face swell up after you eat ramen?
날봐 난니 air thing. RM is now playing with language now. The pronunciation of
That's some
thing
Eminem
is
shit right there.
Thing, which is the slang of thing in English.
Yeah.
Last but not least,
that's cool.
7th, 네가 쩔어,
That
쩔어,
takes
쩔어.
real,
RM
true
finally
skills right
uses
there.
Another similar sound,
Like intellect
땡,
skills.
to make it rhyme with 땡.
Tang.
얼탱이
Okay.
없다 is a slang for 어이가 없다, which means dumbfounded.
어이가 없네.
Phew, so basically I would summarize this song as genius wordplay and rhythmical onomatopoeia. The repetitive
Onomatopoeia,
Ddaeng
that's what I
makes
said
the song
before.
much more rhythmical and addictive. Whereas the various meanings of Ddaeng constantly changing throughout the song make it hard for foreigners or average people to understand, but at the same time makes it genius for a rap lyric.
Frogs. I was wondering about that.
We
I hope he
celebrate
explains
rather
it.
than being a celebrity. This line shows BTS's attitude or mentality of being a celebrity in a nutshell. It's not about being special or enjoying the spotlight. It's about sharing and returning the love they received by celebrating together. 이름값 하는 개구리들 우물 안에 죽기를. This is a reference from a Korean saying called 우물안 개구리, which means a frog is stuck in a well and he thinks that well is his whole world. Thus, he's very narrow-sighted and he thinks he's the best
living in a
inside
bubble.
that small world. 개구리 usually just means frog, but in this case, I think there's a hidden double meaning inside it, saying 개구리다, which is a slang for fucking lame or foul. I think RM is addressing to the haters in Korea who think they're the best with their own lame songs in this small country. He's saying they should die in this small well called Korea without even having the opportunity to see the big
Damn,
world
that's hardcore,
outside,
man.
where BTS is
That's
now
hardcore.
using as a stage. Last but not least, as a director's commentary, I would like to point out the fact that despite this song being a diss track, there is actually no real hate or toxic cursing inside, but rather BTS chooses
except
to
for
play around
saying fucking lame right there.
Ddaeng in
but
a
I guess they
manner
covered that
and
up.
Swaggering about their current success. For me, this is the point that sets apart this song from all other.
It's a show-off song.
Low negativity, but comic and satirical, high self-esteem.
Yeah. While using interesting, clever wordplay. I like this guy that did this video, by the way. I've seen him do some other stuff before, mostly just reactions. But he seems like a really nice guy. I'm a fan. Oh, is that over? Okay, cool. It seems like, if I'm understanding this correctly, what they did was they were able to not only use the word Ddaeng for its meaning, its base meaning, but they also kind of like molded it to mean what they needed it to mean without taking away on any of its real meaning. What I'm saying by that, because that made very little sense as it was coming out of my mouth. If you have, like, you know those old children's games where you have like the shapes that you have to take the shape and stick it into the shape hole, you know, and it's like, here's a triangle, but you've got this diamond shape. That's not going to go in there normally. But BTS used their clever wordplay and their intellect to kind of mold it around and just turn it in the perfect direction so that it'll slide into that hole. And it makes sense. It feels like it belongs there. One video that I'll always remember is Eminem trying to rhyme with the word orange. Because none of the words that he actually uses rhyme with orange. But the way that he pushes it together, the way that he phrases it, makes it all sound like it rhymes with orange. And that kind of reminds me of what RM was doing in this song also. I'm just going to put a little clip here for you guys if you want to check it out.
Like, people say that the word orange doesn't rhyme with anything. And that kind of pisses me off because I can think of a lot of things that rhyme with orange.
What rhymes with orange?
Then I got up and ran to the janitor's storage booth. Kicked the doors loose and ripped out the foreign screws. Grabbed some sharp objects, brooms, and foreign tools. This is for every time you took my orange juice.
Take some inventory in this gourd. There's a Ford engine door, hinge, syringe, and orange, an extension cord, and a ninja sword.
Anyway. Okay, so let's watch this again. This time, I'm going to do my absolute best to follow along with the wording. Play. I like this Oriental sound. You know, they're so international that it seems like the stuff that I've heard from them doesn't usually carry this much of their own culture in there. But it's kind of cool to see it like this. I love that. Swag's just coming out of his ears, bro. Out of his mouth and all of his orifices. Listen to him. Man, he's so clear here. I really like this song. Just the overall flow, the sound of it, the beat. And the fact that the lyrics are so well written really improves it. Spotify Insta. Dude, so clean, bro, so clean. Yeah. Yo, I love that. I think the last line is honestly my favorite. The one about the frog dying in the well and never being able to see. He can't even accept that there's anything outside of that well. You know, living in that little bubble and not... Big fish in a small pond, you know? I'm not the best when it comes to, you know, understanding the underlying meanings of lyrics or anything like that. It's just not really where I shine. I have trouble articulating what I think things mean, you know, trying to break down the analogies and the metaphors within the lyrics themselves. Usually I just take them for face value. So thank the good Lord for that explained video, because I would have had no idea what was going on. Even the second time around, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of struggled following along with it. It was pretty fast. Now overall, as a whole, like, I feel like I got a greater appreciation for it the second time around because of the video explaining it all. But also, I feel like to get the full appreciation of it, to like really understand and like break down every aspect of it, I'd probably have to sit there and stop it after every line, think about that line as, like, you know, the Jeopardy music plays behind me, and then, oh, ding, got it. Okay, move on to the next line. It would probably take me a couple hours to actually figure it all out. But as a whole, just the idea that there's so much effort put into writing the lyrics and to be creative, be clever with it. It just means more to me than any other aspect of music, just the ability to try. That's really what struck me on this one. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Come back soon. I'm going to do House of Cards at some point in the next week for the vocal line. Purple, y'all. Annyeong.